Oh, hello there. The origins of the Spanish Armada lay in Henry VIII's decision to break with Rome. This, coupled with Mary Queen of Scots' execution and England's continual raids upon Spanish ships to try and fill New World, proved to be the final straw for the Catholic King of Spain, Philip II. He engaged in diplomacy with Queen Elizabeth, but it proved to be to no avail. In fact, the raids did not stop, but they grew worse. In the spring of 1587, while diplomatic talks were still in progress, the finest admiral of the English Navy, Sir Francis Drake, sailed into Cadiz harbour, destroying ships and raiding and looting merchant boats with impunity. The Spanish king was enraged. To him it seemed that he had no choice but to invade England and reinstate a Catholic monarchy.
The plan was relatively simple. A huge armada consisting of 130 ships, 18,000 soldiers and 7,000 sailors was to collect another army of 30,000 men, led by the Duke of Parma. Before collecting this army, the armada would sail down the English Channel and gather them at the Spanish Netherlands. From there, the Spanish would sail down to Plymouth and destroy the English fleet. Parma's army would then march onto London, and England would be Catholic once more. The whole enterprise was placed under the command of Duke Medina Sidonia, a high-ranking Spanish courtier with no previous experience of naval battle. However, unfortunately for the Spanish, the English had intercepted letters on the subject of the Armada, which meant that the Spanish had to fight their way past the English Navy to collect Parma's army. The Armada was spotted off the coast of Cornwall on July 29, 1588. So there was little surprise in England, and the beacons were quickly lit. News of the approaching fleet reached London 2 days later. The English fleet of 55 ships sailed from Plymouth under the leadership of Sir Francis Drake.
They sailed down the English Channel in huge crescent formation, with the wind behind them. The English knew that in order to fight the Spanish on their own terms, they would have to get a windward position. So the English tacked behind the Spanish and began to, in the line ahead, attack the Spanish flanks. The situation became desperate between Drake and his commanders. Supplies and cannon shots were running dangerously low. Sensing this, the Spanish attempted to make the Spanish were defeated, and for now they made their way to Calais.
The Spanish fleet, while anchored at Calais, were low on morale. The Spanish commanding officer, Sidonia, had been seasick for almost the entire campaign. Things were only just beginning to get bad. In the dead of night, the English began their attack. This was not a conventional attack, as it was conducted with fire ships. These were ships, damaged beyond repair, which had been loaded with gunpowder, set on fire, and pushed towards the Spanish fleet. The attack was devastating. It meant that the Spanish could not collect Parma's army, and it meant that the invasion was effectively over. The Battle of Gravelines was not a struggle of survival for the English, but for the Armada. When Sidonia finally pulled out of the battle, he had lost 11 ships and many thousands of men. The Spanish began their disastrous journey home. As they made their way up past the northwest tip of Scotland, a savage wind pushed the Armada into the merciless Hebridean gales. Thousands of soldiers were lost to diseases and drowning. Some survivors washed up on the coast of England and were sold back to Spain for profit. This was not just a battle, but a religious war between two nations with opposing ideologies. The Armada was seen as a disaster for Spain at the time, and it still is today. For England, this was one of the greatest naval victories in its history, and confirmed its place as the naval superpower in Europe.
Don't hold back, 'cause you woke up in the morning with initiative to move, so I make it harder. Don't hold back. About it, so many people do be cool and look smarter.